brought to you by longtime manager and executive producer of Digital Underground, H. Gregory. Shout out to H. Gregory, and make sure you pick up Reflect and Chill tomorrow. Lastly, we got about 6 days to get to the polls and vote. And when you do that, make sure you look good in your vote hump t-shirt, brought to you by dumerch.com. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the show is entirely sponsored by dumerch.com and 90shiphop.com, where you can get your officially licensed digital underground merchandise and classic 90s hip hop artist merchandise. If you feel good about it, make sure you click in the info box the link and go shopping, especially after the show. But without further ado, I want to bring on to the show, please, let's welcome the OG, Bumpy Knuckles in the building. What's up with you, fam? How are you?
Hey, what up, man?
Yeah, you're looking
What's
good. Still looking 17 out here.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
17 plus what, huh?
Yeah, I hear that. I wish I felt 17. I
No,
feel
man, you know
great.
how we do. Yeah,
I
we
feel
always,
great.
we
Yeah,
stay young when we feel young.
that's
And
right.
you
We
look
young.
young.
Hey, yo, what are we younger than 90?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? What's up, man?
For real. I'm good. I'm good. So, I always get excited when I have guests that have been, you know, or that got into the game, because you got into the game around in 86, right?
Yeah.
And 86 was right around the time, when I was old enough to really move in the streets and start to really discover myself. So that time period is real special to me. So whenever I have a guest that has that experience that, I'm almost like a little kid. So I'm probably going to ask you a few questions that
Mm-hmm.
I've had or wanted to ask you since 86. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and to put perspective on it, for people like yourself, and even I always talk about Too Short. That's when he came into the game as well.
Mm-hmm.
In '86, Run DMC dropped "Raising Hell," right? And when we think about those albums, we think of like that was eons ago.
Yeah.
But you're actually still out here relevant. Producing artists, making new music, and doing your thing. But let's start at the beginning. Um, how did you actually break into the business back then?
Well, into the business part of into the music business was more because I met some producers in Queens called OT Fresh Productions through one my best friend at the time had did a song. I think it was on Profile,
Mm,
and he introduced me to these producers. And I went out there with my guys. It was me, Eric, and Cool C, Eric, Easy E, and Cool C from Supreme Force, a 3-man rap group from Long Island. And we went out to Queens to a studio session there, and we signed a production deal with them. And they got us a deal on Nia Eileen Atlantic.
mm,
On the Nia Records was the name of the label, and it
right.
was the Eileen brothers who did uh what's that song that the Eileens did? Man, I'm bugging. I can't even think of the name of the song, but Release Yourself. Yeah, Release Yourself is what it was
Yeah,
called.
release
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah. So they, yeah, we did that, and then that was our first record, man, and it was called Cold Handling Things and Come Out Fresh, and we were trying to. I was learning. It was a learning process. It wasn't like I knew what I was doing because I didn't. You know what I mean? I just knew in the neighborhood we was rocking the mic. You know what I mean? But I didn't know nothing
Mm,
about none of that shit. You know? But that's how I
yeah.
got it. 85, I got out of high school. 86, I had my first record deal.
Oh, so you jumped right into it.
Yeah.
So was you riding back up to the high school and the whip like?
No, I was out. I kept it moving. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing that left for me to see. I was gone.
Right. And so near records, like you said, they had what's his name? What was it Al Nashif? What was the guy that did Release Yourself? What was his name?
Oh, you talking
That did,
about Leroy Burgess?
yeah, and you also had Sparky D, who released
Yeah.
their first records on the label, and then you had I think Shannon Marley did Marley Scratch on that label as well.
Oh yeah. I,
And
I think
yeah,
I
they
remember
did.
that.
Yeah, because before I started rhyming, I wanted to be a DJ. So that was the
Mhm.
first thing that I really was put on my hands. I had all those records, and I remember that you know very vividly that Mia
Mhm.
imprint, like that brown
Mhm.
or whatever color. But
Yellow. Yeah,
so what
yellow.
were the yeah like yellow? But it was like a yellowish brown or
Yellowish
whatever.
brown. Yeah. Yeah.
But what was it like? What was it like doing shows or touring? Like, did you guys do shows together? And I just named that roster of people that was on the label. Did you move and travel with them like that, or
Nah,
who are your
because
contemporaries that you
we
were
didn't do
rocking
that.
with?
We didn't get that. I didn't get it with that particular record. I didn't do too many shows. I think it was more that's they put it out. It didn't really do well. It was more became more of a classic later. So it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like we did a couple of little spot dates, but we didn't really get to move like that because, like I said, we were really kind of all just trying to figure out how this works. You know what I mean? It was like
Mm-hmm.
it's different when we were better off setting up our own parties and just going and rocking at parties, like because we didn't have that kind of backing. It was like it was an experiment. I remember uh, I got a call for us Supreme Force to audition for a project that was coming out, and they needed a group. So we sent our music in, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I like him, but he's like this guy here talking about me. I rap too hard. He didn't. We wasn't looking for that. He wanted something that was more approachable and more friendly. So
Right.
I introduced them to a guy named Nate Tinsley, who introduced them to Groove Be Chill. The guy that I had to audition for was Andre Harrell.
Oh, word.
Yeah, and then Nate Nate Tinsley introduced Chili Dog and the Groove Be Chill to that situation, which turned out to be excellent look for them. You know what I mean? And that's the part.
Uptown, uptown.
Yeah, I was barking early in the game, like you know what I mean. Delivery and all that stuff was really hard, and it was like a lot of cats. Them cats wasn't doing it like they was doing more. It was easier. It was easy delivery with them when what they were doing. Like it wasn't so aggressive. You know what I mean? And I think it was better for that situation.
All right, and another situation around that time that I hear is that you actually were supposed to meet with Eric B to be in a group with him as opposed to Rakim. Is that true?
Hmm. Yeah, it's true to the degree of um, he actually I ran into them. We ran into each other in the street. Alvin Tony introduced me to Eric B, and he said that um, he was looking for MC to work on a particular project that he was working on. And I was like, oh, no doubt. So I was like, I said we. He said, nah, I don't need three guys. I just need one. So I was like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? So I really wasn't able to do it because, and then after that, they saw Rakim, and that's what that turned out to be, which was, I think was. I always tell people, they always say, "Yo, how do you feel?" I think that shit was that. It's always God's plan, not man's plan. You know what I'm saying? So that was the perfect thing that was supposed to happen between Eric and Rakim. That they made hip hop made history. Hip hop made
Right.
that Rakim and Eric made history in hip hop. You know what I mean? Which was awesome. I'm still gonna be a part of that, whatever legacy, because Eric was the one who took me under his wing and taught me the business. You know,
Right. So because he still rock with you because he produced your first album.
yeah. He came back and was like, "Yo, after we put out that first record and it didn't do that well." I kind of accomplished what I said I wanted to do. Is I wanted to put out a record with my crew. And then Eric wanted to do some other things, and Kurt went off to college and started doing college. So I went and did the solo thing, and Eric was like, "Yo, you should do a solo album." And that's when he took me, and actually it was him and Rakim both. It wasn't just Eric. Rakim came to me first and wanted to do a project with me, and then he got started doing his album, and then Eric took over the situation after that.
So were you around when they recorded The first Airbnb Rocket album?
Yes.
Like were you like
I wasn't in the
present?
studio as much. I was in the studio more for the second one.
Okay. Because I have a question for you that, I always hear that, was it Eric B for president, that Molly Marr produced it, but then Eric B said he produced it. Like who produced it? Or do you know?
Well, I don't know who did. I never went to Marley's house when they were working with Marley. I think Shan, if I'm not mistaken, I think Shan was the engineer, because I think
Mm,
Shan and MC Shan would be able to answer that question better than anybody, because he was the one that was in the studio with them when they were recording the record. It was Eric, Shan, and Marley. So Shan, if you got a question like that, it would be better answered by MC Shan. Like I wasn't there. I was in
I
Power
gotta,
Play. I was in Power Play studio working, not in Marley House.
and but you were around for the second album. And uh, did you develop any type of relationship with Marley when he was at Near Records or anything like that? Is that
No, I didn't rock with Marley until, well, I never produced. He never produced anything for me. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to rock on any of Marley's music, because I think he's like amazing as a
Mhm.
producer. But Eric B took me to Marley Marl one time to sign me as a solo artist, and he didn't want to do it. And
Mm,
so Eric was like, you know what, I'm gonna get you your own situation, and he got me my own situation from there, and then I was able to build it from there. I never forget that we was in Queensbridge, and I was sitting in the car, and Marley, Eric jumped out the car to go talk to Marley. He was sitting in the Benz, and then he was talking, and then Eric came back, was like, man, fuck this. He said, I'm gonna get you your own shit. And I was like, yeah, no doubt, dog. I mean, everybody. I never got mad about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because everything ain't supposed to be together. Some things you can't do with other people for whatever reason. You know what I mean? It happens. That's just the way it is, and it is what it is. There were a lot of deals that came across my table that I didn't want or they didn't want, and I respect that. You know what I mean? It's business. It's how it goes. You know.
right. Well, we're talking about Molly Marr, and he's kind of recognized as one of the first producers to kind of introduce sampling, like real sampling, even though when hip hop started, in the late 70s, they were replaying, having bands replay uh, breaks and music from
Mm-hmm.
before. But, I always consider, how we say like there's the golden era and this era or whatever in the three or four different eras of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me if you agree with me, but really those eras are just classified by when the production style changed. Because like in the Sugar Hill, the first days, you were rocking to the house band that was replaying shit, right? And then all of a sudden, you had the whole, '83, the drum machine with Run DMC
Mm-hmm.
and everything was drum machine. That's when you came in. But then all of a
Larry
sudden,
Smith.
like '88, '89, when the sampling thing came, it started to change. So talk to me about um, and you've dealt with many of them, right? But transitioning or just when the sound evolves, uh, how easy has that been for you, or is there any era or time when you was like, man, that's not it. I'm not fucking with that, and you held on to a specific style of music for any particular time, and
Um,
just talk to me about the transitioning between
you know
styles.
what? There's a lot of dudes. There's a lot of guys behind the scenes that help establish where hip hop sound was going. Guys like
Mm,
Patrick Adams, Doc Rodriguez, Chris Conway. These are engineers, Herb Powers. These are engineers who do sound shaping, and they, a lot of these actually guys like the Patrick Adams and Docs and all these guys that were in these studios. I'm sure there's a bunch more that I didn't say that that were the ones who knew how to really use those Oberheims and all those different types of samplers, the MPCs and all that. I remember Patrick teaching me how to use an MPC, and then Lord Finesse was really the one who, him and Showbiz were the ones that really helped me to fine tune the production, you know, idea of producing. Then I got around Premier and I was like, damn, this guy. Then I got around Pete and I'm being around all these different producers that I'm working with. And at the same time that I'm doing songs with them, I'm also learning and studying techniques of production so that I could find my own lane. So I never forget a conversation we had with Premier. Premier tell you this, I'm the one who talked him into using keyboards more, because Premier can sample anything and you in hard body with it. Like, but I never forget he had this little controller and I said, yo, you should use this more, man. And I started talking him into certain things and we started having these technical conversations. So transitioning between the eras was never really an issue for me because I don't follow trends. I'm one of them guys that I'm just trying to be a better artist each time I do something. So following trends don't work for me because I don't want to have to say I don't like something. I just want to create my own version of it. You know what I mean? Like that's how I think like that. I don't really care to be a part of the trends. If everybody's doing a style of music, then I want to try to find another way to do it different than what they do. And I don't want to be that guy that sounds like everybody else.
So you always want to be part of the next wave.
Yeah,
And
or either my own wave. You know what I mean? Like my own wave. I want to try to create stuff that hasn't been created yet, or give people something that I didn't think they would do. Like even the way I attack or approach writing rhymes and what I say, and certain people will switch up and try to rap a certain type of way because somebody else sounded good doing it, and it's not the same. I don't like doing shit like that. It's not the way I
nice.
work.
So you've been actually into production almost like from the beginning, from simultaneously while you were always recording, you were
Hmm.
always interested in production, right?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah,
just the list of
I had to because I didn't know in the beginning. I didn't know I didn't have a producer. Eric B just said go in the studio and make an album and then I had to work until Rakim showed up. So if Rakim end up not coming to the studio, then I would be able to work throughout the night. But most of the time, I was able to finish the song, and I didn't really know how to produce. So I would say, Patrick, let's sample this. And he would sample it, but I'm standing over his shoulder looking at it like, yo, okay, what's this right here for? And I'm asking him questions. So he was technically doing the work. I was just saying, do this, do that, do this until I actually started to get it on my own. And then Herbie Lovebug lent me his brother actually lent me an MPC. And once they left me, they went out of town for a few days and they lent me an MPC. I lived around the corner from them. And when I took that shit and I damn near had it in bed with me every night trying to figure it out, learn it. Then I learned it enough to be able to make a few joints, and then I made some beats, and then was able to get me some money and bought my own. So
word.
that's where I was
There's a
at.
there's a question. Who are some of the people outside of yourself that that you produce for that we might not know about?
Um, I produced records for I did John Cena WWE project.
Right.
That went gold. And I got a plaque for it. I wrote for Salt and Pepper, probably their biggest album in history. Um, what a Man, None of Your Business, Groove Me, Big Shot, Somebody's Getting on My Nerves, all that shit. Um, right now I'm working on this DMC album. I got a song with Jazzy Jeff cuts cutting on it. It's Ice T, DMC, and Chuck D called Me and My Microphone. It's real rugged. So I've been trying to
Nice.
develop, yeah, just a bunch of shit, man. There was a time in the game when I had to learn how to produce commercials because, me in the music business wasn't talking. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I had to learn how to, I had to turn my studio into a jingle house. So, you know, by the standards of what these guys are doing today, nobody would probably know what I did, but by the standards of just me making music and being in the loop, my hands was in a lot of stuff. that
I kind of like how you nonchalantly just breezed over. You wrote "What a Man" with my Salt Pepper,
yeah,
my
yeah,
nigga.
yeah, yeah.
I know you killed the game with that one, right?
Yeah, I never told nobody, but you know that I did it. I definitely wrote it. You know what I'm saying? They know that. You know what I mean? They and then everybody know that that knows me knows that.
I mean, was it supposed to be a secret or no?
Nah, well, I wrote it as a ghostwriter in the beginning,
Uh,
but they know what it is. Somewhere around here, I still got the cassette tape that I used to demo the vocal, and it was like, "How you write for
yeah.
girls?" You know, I just because I put myself in a position of would think, well, okay, how would I want a woman to think about me as a man?
Nah, that's dope. That you
And
that versatile to do that,
yeah,
right?
I developed a rap style for them. Like I didn't wasn't just it wasn't just rhymes for me. Like if I write for anybody, it's never just rhymes. I want you to develop a style of your own. You know, and I always promote that for artists. I don't. There's a lot of rappers out here that people say, "Oh, he's whack," or "She's whack," or "This one's whack," and I don't see it like that. I just think everybody should be different, be dope within your own structure. You know, there are some people that just you don't like how they sound, and don't mean they whack. It just means you don't like them. So
I got a question about that. Teasy, you wrote the song, and what was it like? Am I not mistaken? It wasn't like double platinum or something like that.
mm-hmm. It was. If
So when they,
I think I got a 7 million or something like that on my wall. It's one of them plaques I got up there.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So it almost feels like you should have continued writing for them, right?
I would have.
Or they didn't see it
I
that
did
way.
a. You know, so funny. I did a Spinderella album that never came out, and we worked on.
Mm.
She got some dope shit because Spinderella ended up doing her own project. You know what I mean?
I
I wish
remember.
it would have came. I wish it would have came out because she actually sounds really dope rapping. She got a great
Mm.
voice, and she picks up things easy. Like if you're working with her as a writer, she knows how
Uh,
to add her own. You know, but all of them do. You know what I mean? I can always say
yeah.
that about Pepper that they all know how to bring their own flavor to the whatever it is they're doing. And Spinderella is to me probably slept on when it comes to that. You know, because she's
Why
definitely a good performer.
why didn't that record come out?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no
Oh,
idea. I
so
couldn't
you
ask.
just did it. It was the label was like
Yeah, I don't know
whatever
what
happened with
happened.
it.
I know I did the work, and we had some dope songs. You know, we had some real. Actually, I was producing and writing for that. Every song that I wrote, I produced it. So we had a gang of stuff together. I still got a bunch of that shit sitting in here. I don't know if she wanted. She could reach out to me. I'll give it to her.
Was that around the time that she did the joint with Big Daddy Kane,
I don't know.
or was
It
it
was it was definitely around the time. It was after the What a Man song came. It was after Very Necessary came out though.
right? But you know the song I'm talking about. I can't think of the name of it. All that with her and Big Daddy Kane.
Oh yeah, I remember that joint. Yeah, I don't know. It
Yeah,
might have been. It might have been. It
yeah.
might have been.
I could assume because that song was getting run. I
Yeah,
mean, it still gets played. I still hear it on the radio every now and then.
yeah. That was a
So
dope
that's
record.
that's the one. And one of my favorite um, joints that you featured on Money in the Bank with Coogee Rap, right? With you and LP, Large Professor, and my nigga Ant Lie, rest in peace,
Yeah, salute to
was
Ant
on that
Live.
joint.
Hmm.
Man, do you have a story from that session? Cause I
Yeah. The reason I was on that song is because Ant Live and G Rap. I don't know if people know they used to be in a rap group together back in the day.
nah.
Yeah, and Ant Live told G Rap, he said, "Yo, you should put Fox on this record." So he took me to the session, and he said, "Yo, this is what it is." So I wrote. He gave me. I think I heard the beat on a tape and wrote my rhyme, and then I went to the session and laid it. And it was Large Professor was there. I think Akinelli was there.
Mm.
Um, uh, Ant Live, G Rap, Bill Blast. Was Bill Blast there? I think Bill Blast was there. I'm not. It was a bunch of guys in there, and it was just get on and rock. Like that studio was like that. It was like like when we did the, I know we're gonna probably end up talking about this at some point, but when I did the Heal record with KRS-One, the Human
Yeah.
Education Against Lies, it was a lot of rappers in the studio that day, like more rappers than was on that record. So KRS, his idea of bring your A game was everybody spit and earn your spot. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? That's kind of how the G-Rap situation. You can't, you have to really. I was honored. That was my first collaboration. Is Money in the Bank. I was honored to work with G-Rap because he's not easy to spit with. You know what I'm saying? G-Rap. You got to be on your.
Yeah, G-Rap
You
is
got to
ill.
bring it. You know what I'm saying? It's a few cats like that, but he's definitely one of them.
Yeah, and he's probably like, or you tell me, he's probably looking at you like, you got to come, you got to be up here with it.
Well, he don't. Nah, he don't. He just sit back and let you do what you do, and he do what he do. But it's up to you to bring your A game. He ain't gonna tell you need to bring your A game because if you in there, you should know that already. You know,
You said
that's that's
Akinelli was
that's
in the
with anybody.
studio.
Yeah, Akinelli was there. It was a bunch of dudes.
Why,
Akinelli was
why,
always there.
why he didn't get on the record?
I don't know. Good question. I don't know. I don't know.
Right. And you talk about, your association with KRS and BDP. And for what I understand, were you a part of Flavor Unit at one time?
Yeah. The KRS One, the KRS One stuff was, through my rapping and traveling as an artist, people hear you and they you meet them, we fans of each other. So we start running across each other. Anybody that asked me to do a song with them, once I
Mm.
did it, then I established a relationship with them. We established a relationship, and then I ended up doing shows and touring with these artists. KRS came and got me from in the city one night, and I was out there, on my 1-2, and then he came and got me. He's like, "Yo, man, I want you to come in the studio." We did an album called Street Poison that he produced all of the music. KRS produced the music, and I did, and I rap, and we rocked on it together actually. But he couldn't sell it because that complaint again was like, "Yo, dude, the lady, whoever he took it to was a female." He said she was like, "Yo, he rhymes too hard." You know what I'm saying? And I was
I
like,
know
God,
you're like, damn, here we go again.
and it was always my problem is that people that bark. It was like, people didn't understand that bark. And it was like, these dudes is like, check it while I wreck it and check it and all that old shit. I wasn't doing that. You know what I mean? That wasn't
Right.
me. I was really spitting hard tones and it was a growl to it that I guess people just couldn't get used to. But it's how my voice sound when I rhyme. That's just it. Did I learn how to control it after a while? But it is what
Yeah,
it
I
is.
was going to say, it's and I don't know if I'm using the right words, but even from my experience, it's kind of like, it's a shame that experience, you know, allows you to realize how to control certain things, right? I'm talking about vocal delivery, because when I listen to like your most current music, like even on the newest Gangstar record, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have more control. Like even think about it big when he first came out, Party and Bullshit. It's just
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
screaming, right? But
yeah,
by the
yeah,
time he got to Hypnotize, he knew how to lay it. He could do
yeah,
both. He could lay in it and you can control it. Because I think when we start, we wanna go. The main thing
yeah,
is just hear me out. Let me just
yeah,
attack, attack,
yeah,
attack. And
yeah.
then when you get, older, you kind of know how to lay back in it. Um, but I do believe that you have evolved immensely,
Thank you.
right? When I listen to that, and then I go back and if I listen to, the first records, because you're right, you were just a pit bull, just
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes from your confidence building up. Like when I first started going to studios, I was deep down inside. I was always happy to be there, but I was also very nervous because I didn't know my way around the room. I didn't know, all I knew was there was a microphone. I was supposed to rock it. You get this vision of what you see on television of what we are influenced by, like Barry White and Sam Cooke and all these guys singing, and you thinking, damn, I gotta, I gotta be, you know what I mean? Then you seeing Run DMC and them in the studio and all these guys in the studio, and you don't know your way around there. It could be intimidating, but conquering that fear of messing up, not being, not being on your A game that day, and once you get over that, and that's where that control, that's part of the control that you learn, is to be able to say, I want to learn my voice. I mean, I was even studying on, there's a lot of MCs that I always tell that I work with, like there's a certain distance that you should stand from a microphone when you want to deliver your voice a certain way. It's a technique. And people think just because they got a mic in their hand, that's all they need. I get it, but if you talking about the listening business, you know what I'm saying, and we in the listening business, you could save yourself a lot of headache learning how to make your music sound like you want it to sound, and making it sound the way you need it to sound, you know?
Right. And I'm sure when you're producing other acts and other artists, like you said, you're doing something with DMC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
DMC, the legend, how's his voice, by the way?
Voice is great. And whatever it is, it's
Uh,
DMC.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So when I hear him rock, I'm paying more attention to what he's saying, and where he's at when he's saying it, and everything to me sounds incredible. Not because I'm actually working on it, but I'm looking at. I'm not trying to do what Larry Smith and Rick Rubin and all them dudes was doing with them.
right.
I'm trying to do what I'm doing with him now as DMC, the inspiration that caused me to want to do this shit. That's where I'm at with it.
Right. But all right, two legends in the game. But you're producing DMC. So, going back to what we just said a second ago, you know certain techniques and different things that you can do. So do you find yourself lending that information to DMC as well as new artists? Like you like, yo, D, do it like this time, or give me one like this. Like, how do you approach that as opposed to a new artist that you know is raw, and you tell them like, look, bro, you can tell a young cat to do something, but when you're producing a DMC or whoever of that stature, how do you kind of um, lay your influence on that situation in a way that they
I
go, all
mean,
right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
do as any producer, I heard Dr. Dre say this. He's like, producer has to get all the elements down and then produce the record. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Recording and producing is two different things. Once you record everything, now it has to be produced. So I've told I've said to D before, we work the sessions that we have had in the same studio. Of course, Ayo, lay it like this or do it like that, but I haven't had to do that much. There's guys that I've worked with, younger cats that I work with. I don't ever have an issue with them accepting advice from me, because they know that it's all coming from a place of experience. You know what I mean? I'm never, and I kind of like to let people be who they are. The most I would tell somebody is, hey, you know, it's you're distorting, back away, or I don't tell people how to say their rhymes unless they say, yo, Bump, how should I say this? Then I can say, all right, let me hear it again. And then I try to lend that kind of hand, because art, this is the music is, to me, art period is the most imperfect perfection. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So you can't really tell somebody how to sound or how to say something. You just have to kind of figure out a shape for it and add what you
Yeah.
can. You know what I mean? That's it.
Well, I have so why did you change your name from Freddie Fox to Bumpy Knuckles, or why? How did that become your
Well,
alias or moniker?
when I did the first album, Freddie Foxxx is Here, I
Uh,
started noticing like it was a lot of foxes in the game. It was foxes after I came out, and I'm not saying they did it because of me, but then Foxy Brown, Red Fox, all these different foxes started coming out, and I wanted to add on to it. The name was given to me, and when I got the Bumpy Knuckles moniker, OC, when I did the song with OC, that was the first time I ever said it on a song.
Okay.
So I didn't want to change my name. I wanted to add on to it because that's just what it was. It was me adding on to what it was already. So I didn't want to change it because changing it was too difficult. And then Wendy Williams went on the air and she said it on the air. It was so dope. She's like, yo, Freddie Foxxx just changed his name to Bumpy Knuckles or some shit. That's what she was on Hot 97, I think.
Yeah.
And then it had an impact. I didn't realize what an impact it would have, but it did. So
Nice. Tati's smiling. She's like, Wendy. Wendy said it.
yeah, that was dope because Wendy was in the gutter with a lot of these rap dudes. She knew all of us very well. She was down there with us. And when I say in the gutter, I mean she know all the street guys. She know all of the. You know what I mean? She used to be around us sometimes. You know what I mean? Studio sessions and hanging out. On the block with us and all that kind of shit. She's good people. A lot of people say shit that they don't know about her, but I'm not gonna party train with all that. She never done nothing to me, so I can't. I play into that sucker shit. You know.
So she was always like down to earth and she kept it
Always cool, always
100.
cool. I never had no incidents with her. You know, always cool.
That's dope. So one person that had a problem with Wendy Williams was Tupac,
Yeah.
right? And you guys have this. What's the name of the song that you guys did together?
Oh, Killer. It's called Killer. Yeah.
It's called Killer. So talk to how you even met Pac, formed a relationship, and how you guys ended up doing that song.
Yeah. Just I don't even remember how I met Pac. I know. I think it was in. It's kind of dope when you don't remember how you met a motherfucker that you.
Yeah, I don't remember how I met you. I just know
Yeah,
somehow
I know we. I know we
Ramira's
know each
always around when I see you.
yeah. So that means we was on the road working.
Right.
But yeah, so the Killer record came from when I was on Flavor Unit. I had this idea to do this song, and with me and Tupac, and I told Tretch I wanted to do this song with Tupac, and then he put me and Pac together and said, yo, Pac was like, hell yeah, I'll do that shit. So, and then Shakim said, yo, you should add Raven Zeno to this record. And I was like, all right, bet that. And then he came in the same time. Me, him, and Pac was in the studio together when we recorded that song. And that, it was for Crazy Like a Fox. I got like mad versions of that record too.
Word. When,
Yeah,
when you gonna put
bunch of.
out that remix?
I don't know. I mean, I want to give the acapella to the DJs and let them do their own thing with it. That's what I think I'm
Oh
gonna do.
no.
Yeah, let them just take the acapella and I just let them download it. I like doing shit like that because you get a chance to hear what other people's renditions of your music is.
Yeah, and I've heard you mention several times, and I also read up on it, is that you're sort of like a collector of everything that you've done and all the works that you've done. So you keep all of your rhymes. So you actually have the "What a Man" rhyme written down somewhere. Like,
Yeah, I got all that. I always kept my lyrics written what I wrote because I knew that one day I would be able. It just comes from just being like a connoisseur of something. Like I always kept good. Even junior high school, I was writing rhymes. I still got all those books that I wrote them in, and I kept them. I just got a catalog of lyrics. Like I wish I could sit down and write a book about my life like I write rhymes
why
because
don't you?
I don't have. Once I get up to that third verse, I'm finished. So it's like I don't have. I gotta dictate it to somebody that right. I mean, I could do it, but I lose focus too fast. I start doing other shit. I start wanting to make music to go with the lyrics. It was just I kind of just wanted to collect everything I wrote. So I just started cataloging basically, cataloging my
Mhm.
lyrics, cataloging my music, and stacking just a series of things that I just creatively came up with throughout the years. That's all. That's just cataloging. That's all.
And you even have like you still kept like the the letters that Tupac wrote you back when you wrote him while he was in prison.
Yeah, Pac. I got 4 letters from him when he was locked up, and I had reached out to some guys in there that to send him a message and to make sure he was, you know, they were there, you know. So I asked them, you know, to I said I love that guy. That's my boy, man. Just, you know, look out for him. And they did it. You know, I never like to talk about that because I only did that. I didn't do that for publicity reasons, you know, like so.
Yeah, you just did it because you,
I couldn't, you know, and he was like, "Yo," he was sending me messages back and forth. But, you know, I've looked out for a lot of guys that were in prison before. So, you know, and then also too with that Tupac project, I remember we was in DC one time at Howard University. There's a picture floating around. There's a picture floating around with me and Pac at Howard University in the 90s. That he came to Howard University. I played in a club up in New York. I mean in DC with Biz. Me, him, and Biz on stage rocking together.
nice. Yeah, I know. It was I seen a video floating around somewhere where y'all was freestyling in the spot. Was that
That was
same
DC.
time?
Yeah, that was DC. Pac was a wild dude, man. We couldn't get in that night. It was so crowded outside, and he just said, "Yo, watch this," and he just took off running toward the door, and everybody just started running because they saw him running. So they cleared the door, and he was like, "Go in now, go in now." And shit was funny as hell.
That sounds like Pop.
Yeah,
He was
definitely.
crazy as fuck.
He was.
Um, another legend that's not with us, Guru from Gangstar, and you know, like I mentioned just a second ago, you're featured on that album.
Mm-hmm.
Um, talk about that experience, and then also talk about your relationship with DJ Premier. Because, like I said, I have to think that you and I kind of connected through Premier because I know that's your guy. And that's my guy. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime that I saw you out there, I was probably with him. So talk about the experience of that album, like because I talked to Premier, and he was talking about how he had to get the lyrics from Solar and all the things that he had to go through. So once he had that, when did he hit you up and be like, "Yo, this one"? Did you hear the acapella? How did y'all choose which record you were on or what?
He had been talking about Premier had been talking about this album for a while, and
Mm,
everybody just kept it under wraps. It wasn't something that he wanted to publicly discuss. So he would call me and say, "Yo, this is what we're doing." Whoop, whoop, whoop. And they said, "Once I got something, I'll send you." When I got the track, Suge and Guru were already on it.
okay.
So he played me the beat over the phone one time, and then I heard it. He said, "I think this is the beat I'm gonna use right here." So I listened to it. I never really questioned producers that send me say, I either like it or I don't. You know what I'm saying? But I will try. I always try to nail something out because there's some beats that you just have to study. You know what I'm saying? And there's some joints
Yeah.
that just you could get on right away. I don't mind studying a little bit. You know what I mean? So Premier was like, "Yo, I'm gonna send you this track, Guru's verses on it and Suge's verses on it." So then I listened to it. I had it for a few days. I took my time, and I tried to put on there what I thought I could bring to that three man, you know, situation, and that's what I gave him.
And whose idea? Like, was it already called? You know, we say this is
Yeah,
Militia Part Four, or did you
yeah.
say, nah, this should be the Militia Part Four?
Nah, that's Premier. That's Primo.
Premier.
Preem just said, "Yo, this is what it is." Like he's one of the, he don't show up. I'm the only time Premier ever really, me and him when we do solo records together, then
Yeah.
I'll do stuff like more levels, right? Off the collection album. The
Yeah.
part that he wanted me, the part that I was supposed to do the chorus on, I thought was better for the verse. So I reversed everything around. But you know, he gave me the room to do it. And I was like, he said, "Yo, this should sound dope." So I always kind of do that's but when we working on stuff with Gangstar or collectively, I just kind of send me music, I get in my spot, do what I do, and then give it back.
All right. And why are you and Big Shug not a group? Because
I
y'all
don't know.
sound good together. Y'all should do an album together, man. Because
Yeah.
y'all fit. I mean, you know, especially you talk about how people don't or people always notice or talk about your growls. I think you guys are the perfect balance. You know, he's not the growl, but he's still up there with you with the aggressiveness,
Yeah.
right? Punch you in the face and all this other shit.
You know what would balance that out? Jayru the Damager.
Mm,
Like that would, to me, that would balance that out. Like me, Suge, and Jayru could probably do a crazy album together.
man, yeah, at least an EP, right?
Yeah, something. That seems to
Then
be
they
the
need
new
to
thing.
take.
I got actually have an EP coming out with Trick Trick. Me and Trick Trick and Tretch has started. We did the OGology project, and then me and Trick
Mm,
Trick actually did a project called OGP, and it's a 8 song. I think it's a 7 or 8 song EP that we did together. That we're shooting a movie. We're gonna shoot a movie around it, around the music. It's sort of sick, man. This is another guy. Shout out to Detroit, man. This is another guy that I worked with that just, it was magic experience, man. Just being able to be in the studio with somebody that's a kindred spirit like that. You know what I mean? And you certain people you just bounce right off when you in the lab, jumping in
right.
and out of the booth. It's magic going on. And then there's some guys you got to work a little harder to find a vibe with. But he and I got this OGP project coming out, so that should be, we should be shooting sometime top of the year, mid, maybe by March, April, something like that.
That's dope. I always wondered about Trick Trick, and and you can correct me, because with Trick Trick, you don't know, because sometimes there's a lot of hype around the no fly zone and all the things that he was involved with, and like, is it really about the music or is it just about the hype of being this person in the city?
Talented dude, bro. I mean, literally, I got footage of him, dog, running a whole band. I mean, this guy got a band on one side of the room rehearsing. We recording on the other side, working on the OGP project. He got guys coming in singing backgrounds. He got people. This dude is a conductor. That revolutionary part of him is is uh is a good thing because it's motivating. It keeps him. It keeps him. Everybody should be about their city like he's about his city. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
I'm not mad at that.
That's, so he's really about
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
So, talk about the song with you and Nas. Turn up the mic.
Turn up the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn up the mic. Turn up the mic. I love Nas. Nas is dope. Nas and I did that song a couple of times. Well, we used it a couple of times. It just one day in my crib, I threw some shit on, and he was like, "Yo, that's dope." And I was like, "Yeah." So we sat down, and I was fortunate enough to record that in my house, but
Yeah.
I wish I would have had footage of him doing it. You know what I mean? Because he just wrote it right there and spit it like nothing. You know what I mean? One of my favorite MCs, man.
One taked it.
Yeah, yeah, he won take the and what's so dope about Nas is Nas was around in the early days in power play. As a young kid, man, and just he was around then, and when he just it was almost incredible to be sitting in the studio with him and both of us older and
Hmm.
remembering that he was just a kid when I first met him.
And who was
I
bringing
love
him around? Was it Large Professor that was bringing him around, or who?
Yeah, well, it was all of them was together. Large Professor, Akinelli, uh, Nas. There was a bunch of them. It was all of them cats, man.
Just all
Cormega.
running.
Yeah, it was all of them dudes, man. Yamit, Yamit was around. It was a bunch of them. All them dudes. Hot Day. It was a bunch of guys, from Queensbridge over there. You know what I'm saying? And then Az. It was a bunch of them. AZ's from Brooklyn, but he was around. All of them guys was around back in the days. They was younger, but they was around.
Nice. And talk about certain Lil Caves, because this is a new artist that you produced from, right?
Yeah, Little Caves is his father is the guy who did my Industry Shakedown album cover. His name is Caves. That's the father, and he's one of the
Okay.
best. He's one of the best. He's from Lords of Brooklyn. He's probably one of the best artists, like graphic design artists and just painters, that graffiti artists that I know. He's very talented, very, very long time friend of mine, and he played me a song that his son did, and I was like, yo, I got a dope beat that I think he would sound ill on. Like, I'm like that. If I hear a young cat spit, you know,
Yeah.
and if I can make something that I think they can rock on, then I'm with it. 150%. I'll give it to him. Rock with this. And then so I heard that, and I wanted to do it. So I sent him the beat. He wrote the rhyme. I mixed the record, sent it back, and then we got a song together.
Nah, that was dope because I mean, just looking at it, I'm looking at the video. I'm like, I was trying to see what the connection was because
That
it's
kid,
not.
yeah,
It's not.
that kid. I got a bunch of songs with Lords of Brooklyn. They bring that hip hop rock vibe, like that whole. I've been knowing these guys, man, since the 90s, early 90s. You know what I mean? And they always still was honest and strong in what they were doing musically. So we became friends, man, and that's what we do. We make music together.
Nice.
So
Well, this is the time in our show where we like to play a game with all of our guests. And I know you know your hip hop history, right? So we have a game that we play called Who Said It? And what we do is we give you a classic hip hop line, and then we ask you to name the artist and song.
oh wow.
All
What's the
classic hip
prize?
hop.
Do you like fucking Chuck Woolery or some shit?
What's the prize? Uh, you know what? I never been asked what the prize is. Now, afterwards we do the same thing with our guests, and they can win a shirt. But shit, I'll send you a shirt, courtesy of 90s hip hop.
Yeah, but I might not get it right.
Absolutely. What size T you wear? No, real talk. I do want to send you a shirt. What now? We're talking about it.
Yeah, I'll text you all
Yeah.
that. We'll send you that. But that's cool. We could try it. We'll give it a shot. If I get it wrong,
Right. So here's the
I
caveat.
don't get any trouble if I get it wrong.
Nah.
Uh,
Never get in trouble. Nah, it really is just about having fun and sharing the history with the fans of the show. You know what I
yeah.
mean? This is
Mm-hmm.
just another way to share the history. But the caveat to the game is Tanteezy is going to read the lines. Now she doesn't even know what the song is, and she's not really she's not what you call a hip hop head, right? So there's going to be no cadence, only the lyrics. But I always like to keep it confined to an area so that it make it a little easier for the artist. So we'll keep it all. I believe we'll keep it all New York, and we'll keep it all mid to late '80s. I believe. I think, if I can remember. So you ready to give it a go?
Try it.
Let's do it.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Knuckles,
Can
can
you
you hear me?
hear?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
All right.
Live.
Okay, here's the first one. Get in your stands, get ready to dance, make a little romance, smoking things from plants, taking pictures. I'm not a freelance baby doll. Who said it?
Oh my God, it sounds familiar. Get in
It
your
sounds
stand.
familiar, right?
It sounds
Say it one more
familiar.
time, Tati.
Okay. Get in your stance, get ready to dance, make a little romance, smoking things from plants, taking pictures. I'm not a
Why do I know
freelance
this? Why do I
baby
know this? What
doll.
is this?
Who said it?
I know this. Why can't I say this? I know this. I don't know. I know it. It sounds familiar. I can't think who said it.
All right, I'm gonna ask you out. See if you're gonna
Who
get
said it?
in your stance. Take a chance, little folk, man, smoking thing from plants. Baby girl, not a freelance. Baby doll. Fat boys.
Oh shit.
You
That
know
boy.
we're down by law.
And I
Fat
tell you, it sounds
boys.
familiar.
The
So I
disco
lose a hip
three.
hop demerit. Do I get a hip hop demerit for that?
Nah, you don't get a demerit because believe it or not, it's only a few people
Oh,
that got more than one, right? Do you remember, Tanya?
yeah, just a few. He dropped off. Oh, here you go.
Yeah, we
What
go.
the
I
hell?
think
There you go.
right now in the lead, we got Spice One and Big Daddy Kane got two. This next one should be fairly easy. I know you're gonna get this next
All right. I dropped
I
down to
might
the
not.
floor. Gotta think positive. I dropped down to the floor and they did not waste no time. They shot right through the door, so I had to go for mine. Who said it?
You picking like the craziest verses. What is that? It's a line. Say it out. Say it again.
I'm not picking these. The host is picking these up. I'm just reading what he
Oh,
sends
okay.
me.
one. Oh, you gotta
Okay,
know
got
this
you.
one. Go ahead.
Okay.
I don't know.
I
I
dropped.
never. I,
Say it with some fire, Tati.
Okay.
Spit
I'll
that
put
fire.
my twang on it. I dropped down to the floor.
Not like that. No.
Yo,
Okay.
this shit
Go
is
back.
funny as hell.
Okay. I dropped down to the floor and they don't waste no time. They shot right through the door, so I had to go for mine. Who said it? I don't know why I'm saying it with a South.
Every
Yeah, I don't know
rapper
why
do
he's saying
that.
it like that. You know it's a New York record, so they
I'm
got the
not a
South
rapper
twang to
either.
it.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Say it one more time, Teasy.
Okay. I dropped down to the floor and they don't waste no time. They shot right through the door, so I had to go for mine. Who said it?
I don't know. Who said it?
I dropped down to the floor and they did not waste no time. KRS-One, 9 millimeter go
I
bang.
never knew that goes bang.
They
See, if
shot
you
right through the
said it,
door,
you
so I
should have
had to
said it
go for
like that.
mine.
I
You
never
said
heard
it
the
like,
song
I
Well,
before.
dropped
she's
down
not
to
gonna
the
say it like
floor.
that because she's
And
not.
he doesn't give
She
me the
doesn't
I
song
even
wouldn't
know,
before
guess
the
my own
show.
rhyme like that.
huh?
Yeah, that's heavy. I wouldn't guess my own rhyme if I heard it like
If she was saying it,
that.
That's why, remember, you're supposed to give me one of his lines. Remember?
right? See if he do it. All
Okay,
right,
we
so
have
one
one
more. I
more.
think it's one more, right?
Yes.
For you, and then the last one is for the audience.
Y'all
Yeah,
ready?
let the audience do it. Because I
No, this
suck
one
at
is
this.
yours.
Mm.
Grab my JVC, pop in a cassette. Have the people stomping to my beat. You bet. Who said it? Stop looking like that.
Grandma JVC, pop in that cassette. Oh shit,
You
that's
know why
my
that's in
line.
there.
Did he guess
Grandma
it?
JVC, pop in that cassette. How many people talking to? It's my beat.
It's my. He know that sweet tea.
That's sweet tea right there.
See, you got one. See?
That's
I'm not
toys.
so bad.
Yeah, I
Nah, you
purposely
did
put
it.
that one in there for you.
That was the easy one. See that? But see the way she said it was. It sounded like she sang it more. But it's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So you want you won the shirt.
Nah, I ain't win no shirt. Let somebody in
Huh?
the audience can have. Let somebody in the audience. I want one anyway, but somebody in the audience can have
Oh
one.
yeah, you gonna get it. No. We got the last one for the audience. You wanna do the audience one right now? And
Yeah.
it's multiple choice. We make it a little easier for the audience, just so to make sure
You
that
want
they
to
win.
stay on for
And
the audience?
you want
Huh?
to do it right now, Teasy?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's up to you.
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's do it real quick, because
Okay.
so this last one is the bonus one, and this is for our audience, the people in the chat room, whoever guesses it. Ty Teasy will see who guesses it, and it's multiple choice, so that make it a
I don't
little
even have the
easier. We won't be here
answer.
all day.
Can you put the answer in the
And
chat? Because I don't know.
yeah, and the winner uh, will win a T-shirt courtesy of 90shiphop.com. It's either going to be a 90s Hip Hop T-shirt or Going Way Back Show T-shirt, depending on what sizes we have available. But you will definitely win a T-shirt courtesy of 90shiphop.com. So, Teasy, you can give them the question.
Okay. Guaranteed to rock. Oops. Guaranteed to rock the mic with rhymes that I say I'm just as good as Clint Eastwood. So won't you make my day? Who said it? A. DMC of Run DMC. B. Biz Markie. C. Fife Dog. D. Heavy D. R.I.P. Who said it?
Do you know the answer?
Do I know the
Don't say
answer?
nothing. Yeah,
I
do you
know
know
the
the
answer.
answer?
I
Don't
know
say
the
nothing.
answer to
Oh,
that. Yeah, I
good.
know the answer.
So
Oh,
I'll say it
okay.
one more
So say it one
time.
more time.
I know the
Guaranteed,
answer to that.
guaranteed to rock. Why does he sound right? Okay. Guaranteed to rock the mic with rhymes that I say. I'm just as good as Clint Eastwood, so won't you make my day? Who said it? No. Oh, someone said B. Oh, you're right. Congratulations, Kevin Robinson Jr. He said Biz. The answer is Biz
That's right.
Markie.
It's from the biz is going off. Ha 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 ha. Check out the facade.
Give him instructions on how to get the info to you.
Yo, you know what's so
Okay,
funny?
so
Yo,
go
B, you
ahead.
know we never really focused back in the days, right? We never
Right.
really focused on other rappers' lyrics like that. We just, people started doing that shit when when it started to get into the corporate side of things and they didn't understand the lingo. All of a sudden, it's like I'm not a fan of the lyrics.
Right.
Yeah,
You
people
know what I
started
mean?
just listening to the beats
Yeah,
or
now
Yeah.
the production.
everybody's so critical of everybody's lyrics, but we never gave a shit about that. It was about rocking the party back in the days where, what I'm saying, just rock the party and whatever, when you come from the school of Busy B
Yeah.
and Love Bug Starsky and DJ Hollywood like a Dougie Fresh, I mean, and nobody's talking about your lyrics. They talk about they're watching you rock the party. You know what I'm saying? But then these
Yeah.
other cats,
You had to be able to rock the party. So
yeah.
um, before we get out, what what are your thoughts on just the state of hip hop right now? Because you brought up a good point, like because back then it was about rocking the party, but now how our music has evolved, some people can be platinum without ever being in a club. You know what I mean? Never touch a mic live on stage, but they put something on YouTube and get lucky, and this thing is they have a platinum hit. Like, what's your opinion on the state of hip hop and where do you think it's going?
Well, I mean, it's not what it used to be. You know what I mean? We came in a time when a $200,000 deal was a good look. You know what I
Right.
mean? Couple hundred grand, and that was your budget, and but it's a different ball game now. I'm actually not mad at any of the new artists that's doing what they do. This is their time. You know what I'm saying? We had our time. This is
Right.
their time. We can still have our time because if you're not following trends, it'll always be your time. So I said, when it come
Word.
down to these new guys, there's a lot of these new guys, man. There's a bunch of new artists out, man. You know, O&B JD, he got a language that just next level. You got Sorry the Kid, you got, you know, all these different cats, man. These young boys out here, little caves and all these guys. This is why I did the Pop Duke album. And
Uh,
the reason I did the Pop Duke album is because I wanted to identify myself as somebody who been, I was young before, you know what I'm saying? And I
yeah.
already did all that. Already did young boy already. I already was young already. I've been a young guy, so I know what it's like for people not to believe in you.
Yeah.
You know, I
And
know
it's a
what it's
young
like for
people's
people
sport.
not. Yeah, I know what it's a good artist sport.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that it's a young man sport. I believe it's a good artist sport. So if you have a if you have a talent or you have a ability to make music and do shit, then do it. Do it the way you do it. Just be yourself, be your own self, do your own thing, and don't allow people to dictate to you how you suppose. I mean, you could take lessons from people or you could take advice from people and use it how you use it, but you got to make sure you got to make sure that you find your own lane. Make sure you find
Right.
your own lane. You know what I'm saying? And once you do that, no matter how old you are, man, don't let nobody tell you you can't make records after a certain age. That's dumb. That don't make no sense. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? The older you get, you're supposed to get smarter, and you're supposed to make just evolve. That's it.
You make and your audience will come along with you. You know, as you mature, your
Of
audience
course,
matures. So
of
don't
course.
try to chase. You know, hip hop has always been a young people's sport, but
Yeah.
it's also grown. So we all grew up in it, and we're grown folks in it as well. Like we never
Yeah.
stopped loving hip hop, right?
You
So don't
can't
think that.
because that's what we do. You know what I mean? We this is the game grow is grow the game is growing up. You know what I mean? So when you see all of these new cats coming out, when you see the OMBJDs and then you see all not Sorry the Kid and Little Caves and all these new artists, these new Little this one and Big that one, and you start seeing all these guys grow up, they gonna be looked at as guys who did it already. They have to take a position as somebody who did it already. And if you
We
don't
have to
pass,
arm them.
if there's no trade off of wisdom and strength, then the game won't survive. So
Exactly.
if I run around here bad mouthing these young boys and bad mouthing what they doing, how's that productive for hip hop?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm
I
talking
can't.
about.
I've said it before, and I'll say I won't. I'll say it again. I'm not gonna play that part. I just want to be able to. I got advice for them, what they could watch out for, what they should be aware of, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? I'm not in their way, they not in mine. Only thing I can show you is, listen, be careful of this. This is how this go. And I hope everybody learns how to do business because that's very important. A lot of guys want to be rich fast, but you got to do business to have long term, man. Long term in this game means you got to learn how to create something, learn how to market it, learn how to sell it, learn how to save. Imagine
Word.
all the guys that didn't build studios right now that's suffering because they stuck in the house and they don't have no, and the price of shit is done tripled now. These computers are like 3-4 grand now.
Yeah. Well, have you thought about starting like a mentoring company or firm or do some classes or anything like that?
I mean,
Like,
not as a business, but people reach out to me. I talk to them. If I could, sometimes I may not have nothing that you want to know. So if you reach out to me and we rap, then I'll tell you. But people say I should do that. I might one day.
we might have to do that together.
Yeah, I'll be with you. You know that. And
You
I'm with
know,
it. Listen. I want to do my part. We all got an end game, and if you focus on the end game, you'll never enjoy the process to get there.
word up. So one more time, let everybody know about all the new projects and also where they can find you on social media, whether it's a website or where you want them to go.
Yeah, just hit me up, man. I'm at Bumpy Knuckles on Twitter, at Bumpy Knuckles 77 on Instagram, and you know I'm not on too many more platforms, but I got a Bumpy Knuckles Facebook fan page that you can follow, and I'm working on a couple of projects. I got some DMC stuff coming. I got some other stuff I'm working on with DJ OG from Digging in the Crates. We got a project. I got a couple of projects. I'm doing something with Jayru Jones and Mono Neon. I got a project with live drums and live bass that I'm rocking with on that. We working on something and just a bunch of stuff. Just making music, man, and staying focused on trying to do something different and something new. I still got leaks projects. I got if you go on Bandcamp, you can go to my Bumpy Knuckles Bandcamp and download five. I got 4 free albums up there, leaks volumes where I kind of just free downloads, 4 albums, just free downloads. They call the leaks projects. You
Nice.
know,
I'm going
yeah, yeah,
right after this.
yeah, bunch of
Yeah,
shit.
we got to definitely get it. We got to get up on something one of these days for sure.
Anytime, bro. Anytime. You know that. Anytime.
That's what's up. Well, man, I appreciate you once again. It's a pleasure. And
Everybody stay safe out there, man, and keep creative, man. Before you think about going in the studio, man, put your best foot forward and realize that hip hop is what you should be focused on. Making good music, making good hip hop, and keeping the game solid and strong, man. It's not one dimensional, so don't be one dimensional. Be your own self.
wise words, wise words. Well, man, once again, we're gonna catch up.
All right, brother.
Thank you for taking the time. So I'll
Yeah, man.
talk to you in a minute. All right,
Peace. Yes, sir.
Bumpy Knuckles,
Salute.
my guy. Peace. Great interview, Tantizi. Are you
Yes.
there? Tiz?
Yes.
Okay. No, I was just looking because it sounded like you had a comment to make. Oh, and who was that? That one who won the t-shirt?
Kevin Robertson. Kevin Robinson
Kevin
Jr.
Robertson. All right, Kevin Robertson Jr. Leave a message here with your address and size, and we'll get that out to you. You can either leave it here in is there a DM for YouTube? I'm
Yeah,
tripping.
there's a
Like, how's that work?
message area for YouTube.
Um,
Or no, have them send it to you through Instagram DM and follow. And you have to follow us on YouTube to win a shirt. So make sure you
oh yeah.
subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah. Right. You ain't subscribed, you ain't getting shit. No.
Yeah, you have to
Make
be
sure you
subscribed.
subscribe, and then you can send me your personal information. I think you can send a personal message in YouTube. If not, hit me up on the at moneyb69 on Instagram with your address and size, and we'll get that out to you.
Wait,
Um,
didn't you have someone? Didn't weren't you supposed to send a shirt to someone and it came back? Was that someone
yeah,
else?
but that wasn't through this.
Okay,
That was from the website. Why you
all
putting
right.
our business out? Not just playing.
I'm just making sure you can handle that.
Nah, that shows you we care, right? We definitely take care of people. Um, once again, before we get out, I just want to say that the show, as always, sponsored by dmerch.com and 90s hiphop.com. Get your officially licensed digital underground and classic 90s hip hop artist merchandise. The link is in the description box below. If you're on social, the link is probably in the bio. But definitely go and grab you some stuff. Don't forget, this Saturday, the James Tony Productions presents the Lights Out live stream pay-per-view boxing event on it's on
Dire,
Vire
fire.
streaming network, which is downloadable on all platforms: Roku, Apple, Google, Fire Stick, all of that. If not, you can definitely watch it at watchvire.com/lights out. Um, and lastly, you want to check out the solo piano groups Reflect and Chill project on all digital platforms. Music to relax your body and soul, brought to you by H. and Gregory, who is the longtime and original manager and executive producer of Digital Underground. It's a family affair. Get your vote hump t-shirts from the D merch site. Shout out to the homie Scott Knotts, who sent me the gas company T. It says 2020 owes me money. Ain't that the truth?
I like that.
Ty Teasy, I want to thank you for a great show. I'm not sure if there's any parting comments we have, anything that we missed or anything anybody said.
No, but Kevin Robinson Jr. is definitely subscribed. I have
Okay.
nothing to say. It was a great show, great interview.
Well, I appreciate you all. Next week, tune in. The artist Cocaine will be our guest.
Say what you said earlier.
Oh, later I said next week we'll have Cocaine, like every other week. No, just jokes, people, jokes. The artist Cocaine, not the other cocaine. I don't think. I like jokes. So yeah, the artist Cocaine. He's got a new single. It's called The Monkey Wasn't Funky. He's got a dance contest. You can win $1,000 if you do the best dance. We'll talk about all that next week. So make sure you tune in. Same bat time, same bat
And thanks
channel.
again
Next.
to Bumpy for coming through.
Oh, Bumpy Knuckles, my guy. Appreciate you. And I want to appreciate everybody that have already purchased their Vote Hump, Dump Trump t-shirts of Dirt Baby, Derek Mallory. I see you send me the picture you wearing the joint. G Money out there. Uh, Treese, she got her shirt today. You know, the whole fam. But shout out to everybody. I can't see the comments, but I know you're out there. And we are going to step on out. So until next time, people, please be easy. Peace.
What we're gonna do right here is go back, way back.
It's the Going Way Back Show with Money B. Classic hip hop, raw and uncut.